Hello, 5,462 YouTube subscribers. You're watching my favorite YouTube channel. I'm Chillmonger. Let's watch and read an article coming out of Marvel. It's about a comic book that's being announced for the month of May. So let's read it. Just read it. Can you imagine if this all rhymed? Black Panther Bloodhunt transforms T'Challa into a vampire. This May, Black Panther headlines his own Bloodhunt tie-in series from Cheryl Lynn Eaton and artist Farid Karami. What do I notice right away? The unknowns, the level of interest that Marvel Comics has to this, the tie-in and its nature of relevance to the grander event. It's already a tie-in, and we know how barely those ever matter, except for when Al Ewing does it, because he seems to care and want to include things and stuff. There's some writers out there. Jim Zub is another one. He'll try to make it relevant. For the most part, though, we understand what a tie-in means. So also we can look at the creators. I have never, and the monger means ever, heard of Cheryl Lynn Eaton. It is an unknown name, and for that reason, it is very important that you realize, because you may be stupid, you may be an idiotic person, you may watch the channel, but you don't like things don't register. That you, since it's a #1 issue, you need to communicate to the comic book retailer that you visit to on a weekly or even monthly basis. But the guy that you've been seeing and buying comic book, this is what you need to communicate. This is what you got to do. You got to say this. Hey, in May there's a comic coming out, and I'm gonna buy one. Okay, put that in your sales data. Keep a mental note of it. Just know to order one for me. Now, some shops, they do this thing called the pull list, where when the comics come in to their shop early in the morning, they go, oh, I remember Chillmonger said that he wants a Black Panther Bloodhunt. And so for that reason, I ordered it, it came in, he said he wanted it, this comic now is going to go in this hole, and he puts it there, and he goes, okay, when Chillmonger comes to the store, now he's going to have that comic book, because he told me 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance now, because they're announcing a new series. Whenever they announce a new series, it's 3 months in advance. Yeah, okay, no, that comic has been sold. Now, if you're stupid, this is the part where if you're an idiot, you may be an idiot. Or your shop may not do pull lists, but most of them do. Some shops go off the shelves, and if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. Ignore me. I'm not insulting you. I'm only insulting idiots. If you go to the shop without telling anyone that you wanted the Black Panther Bloodhunt, and you just go to the shop and you go to the shelf and you pick it up and you go, I did it. You didn't buy anything. Like, the sale was registered 2 months in advance when the final order cutoff happened. So, you fucking idiot, tell your shop Black Panther Bloodhunt, even though it's got Cheryl Lynn Eaton and artist Farid Karami. No disrespect to them. They could be awesome artists, just like Zay Carlos was, and just like Jody Houser did a good job in that Ms. Marvel tie-in. Unknowns, relatively not famous, they don't get put on any of the flagship titles. I get it. But your comic shop is not going to order an abundance of these. Tell your shops that, and tell them before the FOC. Damn, I didn't even read the article, and I just got mad at you idiots because I'm hearing the Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther has sold out, and why it's good news. It's terrible news. It's selling out on the first day means that no shop had the confidence to order the sufficient amount. It's selling out in, of course, the 12,000 units that were lost because of Penguin Random House, fine. But some shops don't even use Penguin Random House, and all of them were sold out. Because you dumbasses, and maybe 100, 200 people are going to watch this, you dumbasses aren't telling your shops, preserve this one for me. And they will. They're not going to not keep that comic book in the shop when you said you were going to get it. They're going to see you again. What do you think they're just not going to have it? Oh, yeah, we know you told us that, but we're not going to give it to you because we sold it to someone else who matters more. No, they will value you. And sometimes you even get a discount if you can subscribe and put it on your pull. If they pre-ordered it with you with the intention that you're going to buy it, they love you so much. Thank you for giving us that sales data. Boom. And then don't just do it for one comic. Do it for all your comic books. Some comic shops give discounts. When Bloodhunt kicks off this May, the crossover event, no place in the Marvel Universe will be safe from vampires' invasion. Not even the proud nation of Wakanda. I remember reading the King in Black tie-in event Man, Jeffrey Thorne may have wrote that. T'Challa got the weapon, blasted it into the air, and then he did a wide shot on planet Earth. And you can see there was black goop covering all of Earth, except Wakanda in that tie-in event. Now, here's an important thing about the tie-in event. It didn't matter. Because when I read King in Black issue 6, Silver Surfer is coming to Earth. I gotta come. And he's like, oh my God, Earth is covered all in black goop. And I am holding a tie-in comic book for the Black Panther and how they handled the King in Black mess. And I'm like, oh, this is the part where he circles around to find out which area is Wakanda. Nope, none of that. Even though T'Challa solved the problem in Wakanda and had an access point into Earth in the tie-in comic book, it didn't matter. It was irrelevant. These tie-in comics are irrelevant. They're just a matter of supporting the Black Panther and proving that this franchise is at least tie-in worthy. It's he makes money. That's why I get these comic books. Tie-ins with Black Panther and some of the other stuff. Spinning out directly out of the startling developments of Jed MacKay and Pepe Larraz. Quality names. You see the difference? If you don't see the difference, you may not be paying attention. Jed MacKay gets to write the Avengers. Jed MacKay will get to write X-Men. Jed MacKay gets Captain America, Thor. Pepe Larraz, he has had events, X-Men comic books, like the one that's called X-Men, adjectiveless. This is who they care about, and that's why they're doing the crossover Bloodhunt, like actual Bloodhunt. There's levels, and then there's, what's these guys' names? Cheryl Lynn Eaton, Fareed Karami. And if you think, oh, they're getting a chance, this is it. No, you dumbasses, you're being a stupid idiot again. This is not them getting a chance. There is no ladder. There's no example of a person who started off with these tie-ins, made it up, and then they started doing, I don't know, Miles Morales, and then they started doing the big books, and then they get into that circle of you get to write Guardians, you get to write Deadpool, you get to write Iron Man, you get to write, like that tier, that circle, is just a rotating a bunch of names. And Jed MacKay is in that rotation, and Pepe Larraz is in that rotation. Guys like Stefano Caselli are in that rotation, and that's surprising that he got Ultimate Black Panther. Sees the recently exiled, here I am, a 3-issue event tie-in series. They get 3 issues, and drawn by Fareed Karami from Venom Lethal Protector. Oh, you guys read that? Oh, Cheryl Lynn, she's from Marvel Voices. Oh, okay. You know, Marvel Voices. That's how they get started. They get started there at Marvel's Voices, then they do the tie-in, and then one day, they'll start writing the Avengers. It's been 5 years of Marvel's Voices, and that hasn't happened yet. You could have sold me on that the first time I saw Marvel's Voices. Oh, what a way to get your shoe in the door. But as of now, Marvel Voices isn't some sort of like proving ground. Black Panther Bloodhunt sees the recently exiled T'Challa finally returning to Wakanda's capital city. This sounds good. Only he now serves a different nation entirely. The Vampire Nation. Oh. This sounds bad. Damn, I lost interest really quickly. Let me keep reading. One of the vampire's first, but certainly not last, victims. T'Challa finds himself caught in a soul-crushing struggle between protecting his people from his new brothers and satisfying his new overpowering thirst for blood. Oh, he turns into a vampire. I hope, well, he's not going to stay a vampire, let's be real. I'm not even going to entertain it. Threatening his legacy as king, as well as his deep connection with the Panther god. Who wrote this? Whoever wrote this article knows what they're talking about. Who's this here? By Marvel. Overlord Divine Nation. He'll unearth long buried secrets about Wakanda's own secret history with the creatures of the night as Ian and Karami introduce new blood-sucking villains inspired by real African legend and mythology. Do we need new villains? Or do we need the same villains that we used to get, but now getting a second part? The same way Spider-Man has Vulture, and he's got reoccurring Mysterio, reoccurring. Dr. Octopus always has some sort of evolution happening, and we know who these villains are. When you keep introducing new heroes, villains, you never get to establish somebody. Killmonger and Claw have shown up time to time. They're reoccurring, and it feels like he has two villains. But to introduce a new villain doesn't excite me, even if they're inspired from real African legend. I'm gonna ask Eaton, who wrote this comic book, why didn't you just take an older villain and then repurpose that villain for this story and be like, on his time away since we last seen him, he got vampire problems, and now that's why, oh look, returning this villain. That'd be rewarding for an old-time viewer or old-time reader. They'd be like, I remember reading this 20 years ago. I remember reading this, and now here it comes back in this vampire aesthetic. Would have been a better idea and would have solidified another villain for T'Challa. Long live the king. Sorry, it's not important that he has many villains. It's important that he's got a reoccurring villain who's like meaningful. Long live T'Challa, literally. While T'Challa has always been the height of a human excellence, steering such a legendary character as he navigates a supernatural battlefield populated with gods and monsters. Okay, James Gunn. All while adapting to a form and newfound powers unfamiliar to him has been a treat. So I think he's gonna be the protagonist at least. Good. T'Challa's royal status is not just Wakandan in nature, but vampiric as well. See what they mean by that. I don't want any big changes, but I have no idea what she means. And I can't wait to explore both of these bloodlines. No pun intended. Interesting. Hey, I like a good pun, and it shows she knows what she's talking about to use a pun like that. She won me over with her little blurb there. Cheryl Eaton. Once I read the script, I was delightfully surprised about where the story was going and how cool the tone and atmosphere were. My slight problem is that the writer and the artist didn't have a communication. You might be able to hear that, I'm sorry. The writer and artist didn't have a communication. Hey, what are you good at drawing? Okay, cool. My final blow will be this. Hey, what are you good at drawing? Oh, you prefer wide instead of close-ups? Cool. I just don't like that he got Karami this year. The artist got a script, and he's just like, I like it. But he says he liked the cool tone and the atmosphere. The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes animated series was my introduction to most of Marvel's superheroes. Oh, a young guy. And Black Panther was my favorite character there. Good. We need you. Come here. Come here, Karimi. The chance to draw a T'Challa as a vampire battling other vampires and some African mythological demons in such an epic yet dark tale has been a dream come true. It's like the third time they used the word African rather than saying a specific place in Africa. Al-Kebulan. It would be nice if they mentioned the spot, like which continent is it deriving from? Because it's a big place. It's kind of weird to just say that big continent for 3 times. Like, which culture are you borrowing from? Let us know. Like, you did it for a reason, right? For representation purposes. All right, let's represent. I want to hear where it's from. Cool cover, man. Vampire. Yay, man. You get 3 comic books. Let me see T'Challa as a vampire. Interesting premise. I hope he doesn't stay that way. And then they mentioned him being the king again, and I love hearing that. Undo what Feces was writing just 12 months ago now. It's been 12 straight months where he goes on his last comic book, T'Challa's not the king anymore. He also said he's not the Avenger anymore. One of them was undone really quickly. The other wasn't. T'Challa, the vampire, Black Panther has been transformed and tasked with carrying out a key mission. But even a dark transformation won't keep him from his duties of Wakanda. For better or for worse. Who wrote that? Whoever wrote that, shout out to you. See the horror that awaits T'Challa yourself on Andrew Sorrentino's Black Panther cover. Yeah, that is fantastic, man. I don't even want variants. No, I'm going to get this comic book and I'm going to get the variants. Because you know what I'm going to do, people? Well, this is what I'm going to do with my mouth. My mouth, this right here. I'm going to say, hey, shop that I often visit to. In May, there's a Black Panther comic book. You know how you get me the Black Panther with the variants all the time? Because I automatically ask for those things on a monthly basis. Remember that? Okay, cool. Do the same damn thing with Bloodhunt. Get me the Black Panther cover A. And if they're doing another variant, get me that. And if he goes, but Chillmonger, there's a 1 in 50 variant, and I don't have 50 customers at this shop that are going to order it, so I'm not going to get the 1 in 50. I'm going to say, all right, fine, but give me every variant that they are selling. When I show up in May, they're going to be there. That's called pre-ordering, and that's when sales are counted. If you don't know that and you watch my channel, you're not listening to me when you watch my channel. Just talk to the guy. Don't show up in May without speaking to your comic shop and go, ooh, Bloodhunt, I like this cover. Oh, there's another cover there. I'm going to take 2 of these covers. Oh, I'm doing such a good thing for the culture. You just took 2 comics out of the shelves. And maybe like another customer was going to go, and another customer was going to be surprised by a cover, and he was going to pick up that cover because he liked the cover, and he just cost that sale. Instead, you could have ensured your cover would be there, and that extra one would be on the shelf because, it's a number 1. Let's see what happens. You could have done something helpful, and you could have provided more sales. The sales count 2 months prior, before the comic book is even in the store. That sale, that pre-order that you communicate with your shop, that's the one that counts. Oh my God. I gotta go right now. Did I read everything? Who will bite it? Stay tuned later today, and we'll all week for more Bloodhunt tie-in announcements. Okay. Cool. I really do gotta go though. Bye.